Hello, beloved viewer. It's another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda, and we are so excited to have you with us today. Now, today we are discussing Campus Chronicles. We have so many of us young people in universities and other higher institutions of learning, and being there comes with quite a number of challenges: navigating studies and academics, learning, balancing our faith with academics, relationships, finances, and very many other things that come with being in a university. Campus Chronicles. Today, we are going to be expounding more on that. And joining me to dissect this conversation, I have a distinguished panel of two beautiful ladies and one handsome gentleman. And I'm going to introduce them just in a bit. Starting from my extreme right, I have my very good brother, Martin Musoke. Martin comes to us from Muzda. He's a valuation student at Makerere University. It's a pleasure having you on the show, Martin.
Thank you so much.
Next to Martin, we have Miss Lillian Chitimbo. Lillian is a student of Creative Multimedia from Lim Kok Wing University of Creative Arts. And she joins us today also to help us dissect this conversation. Lillian, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then finally, we have an amazing lady over here. This is Miss Rachel Paiga. Rachel comes to us from Katikamu SDA Secondary School, where she works as a nurse. Lillian went to Mengo School of Nursing and Midwifery. Lillian, Rachel, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies. And to help us start off this conversation, I would like to know your thoughts. What came to your mind when you heard about this topic? And Martin, you're going to start us off.
Thank you so much, Edson. Campus Chronicles, the word Chronicles, if you translate it biblically, the Baganda call it Ebyomu Mirembe. So ideally, I was like, are these guys trying to look for peace at campus? But anyway, that was the first thought. It was a funny one. But then as we kept on getting to see how to get ourselves prepared, basically trying to see how to navigate around campus in a peaceful way, in a calm way that will not burden you. You know, there are funny moments where you're on X and you see guys carrying suitcases, you see guys dying in books, and it is commonly known that campus is a place for hunger, poverty, but basically I think we are going to try to navigate how to survive through campus in a good way. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, Lillian, what came to your mind?
Okay, for me, what came into my mind are those stories, those series of events which could happen at campus, experiences. For example, you could be having a stammering lecturer, and you talk about that person, even make like notes about him, so wherever it comes back into your mind, the way we could be tortured as freshers, all that, wherever it comes into mind, those are stories, the series, the events which used to happen during campaigns, those things also later comes back as stories and events with the past and experiences.
Yes, thank you. And Rachel, what came to your mind?
Oh, thank you very much. I also first looked for the meaning of the word chronicles. I also knew chronicles as Ebyomu Mirembe, like in the Luganda Bible. But then after some research, I knew that it's a series of events that can happen. One writer was like in their order, but since we are in Campus Chronicles, it doesn't matter the order. You can have friends, leadership, and many more in Campus Chronicles.
Yes, thank you so much. I also tell you what I studied. I also studied a bachelor's in education, English language and literature in English at Busitema University. I was there for 4 years, and it was such a good and rough time. It was a mixed up experience. And here, on this particular conversation, we are here to talk about this campus. What was it like for you? What challenges did you face? What things did you learn? Did it transform you in any way whatsoever? That's what we're going to be discussing right here on this conversation. And I want us to keep it real, realistic, and practical. And we talk about it the way it is, that our young people out there might have something to learn and take for themselves today.
There are so many challenges young people face. One of them, Mr. Martin has hit on them, hunger issues. And these hunger issues come from the financial problem. You find some students, they are getting financial issues, they are paying their tuition, looking for their food, and you find life is difficult. Then the other thing, peer pressure at campus. Yes, there you get a student coming from a religious family, then he or she finds that life of clubbing, and they be like, Rachel, what's not going on? Like, add it just to the new environment. That's also a challenge. Then another challenge of housing. Mainly when students join campus, they usually get into hostels, and then they can reach a moment and be like, I want to rent, I want my own space. They find rent charges very high, and so they get challenges, even with roommates, in case they are sleeping in hostels. Some roommates are not cooperative, some roommates are harsh, they're not welcoming, and you get that toxic environment. Then the other thing, academic preparedness. We get to know that some students, in reality, they study courses they don't want due to some financial problems. Let me say he or she is on government merit, and they give him or her a course he or she doesn't like. Yes, someone wants to do medicine, and then teaching. They give him education, bachelor's of education in biology, or they give them this veterinary medicine. So they, yes, so they get so disappointed. And then the other challenge, discrimination. Discrimination is very real. People can discriminate you at campus because of your height, because of your color, tribe, many things. Talk about it. Because of your former school, that there are those social clubs whereby, for us, we came from Katikamu, yes, for us, we came from Marcos, us, we came from, different places in the country. Then the other thing, time management. Time management at campus is a real challenge, whereby sometimes you can collide with your lectures, and then you find yourself running up and down, or, I've forgotten something.
People.
Yes.
There are people who would wait to call. Has the lecturer come?
Yes, even during papers, that pressure, the academic pressure, whereby you want to impress. Some students study not because they want, but they want to impress their parents. That let me go and I study, then I bring back a paper to my father, So, in brief, those are some of the challenges.
You've reminded me, this is a weird confession. I once printed a handout the morning before the exam. It was in the afternoon, in the morning. But I passed, thankfully. Yes, Lillian, can you speak more about these challenges? And how possible is it for young people at campus to live successful lives, especially those who are Christian?
Okay. Yes. Now, as you have started, that as a Christian, first of all, as Christians, we have always to put God first in everything. There is no way you're going to go to study or to achieve academic or maybe something, but when you don't trust God and you don't find challenges, because challenges are always there and they are everywhere. Most of them, she has talked about them, and actually those are the common ones. Those are the common ones, because you can find those peers which can force you to do things which you did not even expect of doing. But you can you can have a successful living at campus.
There's something I remembered, and you being ladies, no one else would address this better than you. Can you talk about the aspect of sexual harassment, sex for marks? God. Is that thing there?
Yeah.
And how true is it?
Yeah, exactly. Those things are there. And me as a person, I have a friend who experienced that. That person came in and was like, she had challenges of finances. And here comes a lecturer who looks good. He was just out of school, out of campus for a bachelor's. Those people brag. This girl was like, kamwetek. But sometimes it's always on two sides. The girl can come in for it, but also a lecturer can make you to fall into it without you. Because you have challenges, this person promises you know what, if you will fall in love, you are going to be as very successful about this, even if you miss papers, as long as you give me. Yeah, the A's are there, just you are warm over there.
Yeah.
You come in for this, everything is going to be okay. And this is where this person is achieving millions of money. He gives you $1 million one night and you say, I'm okay now. You go for shopping or you go for what, you have the good meals, you enjoy for clubs, but again, there is something bad about it. If you don't come to know that there's something bad about it, you achieve the academics, but you will not be able to be successful out of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can be successful, like, for example, you as a person, you have to know and you have to be focused about your academics. The moment you enter campus, just know the reason as to why you are there. And just know that you have little time in that environment. They can either be 3 years, they can be 5 years. You know, people already study like 10, but for us, we usually count the 3 for bachelors. But you as a person, plan for that life, for those years. Make a schedule. Every year which comes, you have a plan that this time, by the beginning of the morning, I'll be doing this. I'll have some exercise. Have time for yourself as a person. After exercise, then I'll do this one next. But if you don't have a schedule to follow and you feel like, let me just do the way I want, let me go and bathe, then take breakfast, then do this, then things will not come out. Even time management will not be easy. Another thing, have time for yourself. Some of the people don't mind about their living. They eat the way they want because they're at campus. I have to be eating chips and chicken. I have to take snacks. I have to be having ice cream. That does not mean that life at campus has to be like that. But you take a health balanced diet. This helps you mentally and also helps you like to be physically, your body to look good. For you know, people at campus think that those who eat chips and chicken, they are the ones who are well off. But also assuming of portion beans, we are well off.
And
just that,
and
and we are glad that we have that.
Yes.
Be contented with what you have. That's why sexual harassment comes in. You feel like what you're having is not enough. What your parents can afford to give you cannot make you happy. So you go in for sex thinking that that will be an achievement for you to be a better person. But you as a person, be contented with what you have. Wherever you feel like, yes, I can do this, be contented with the marks you get, knowing that those are mine. I have to work harder to see that I achieve more than this. Make research about the things you don't know. I can kind of ask, Edson, you are my friend, but this lecturer is saying like this and this. Can you please talk to me? You can give me that knowledge which can help me to pass through that challenge. And me as a person, without having any idea about what you have told me, and that can make me to be a successful person. But not making just only research about those things, but also academically. You can be higher. Like for me, I'm in semester 1 and you're in semester 2. You can tell me how things move. Yes. I'm a fresh at campus, but you have been there for some good time. You can tell me how things move in that environment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you've mentioned quite a number of very, very important things, and that is very good, especially in the context of this conversation. You've addressed sexual harassment, you've addressed time, and also having time for self, and also good feeding, which we tend to ignore, but these are very important things. Now, Martin, I want you to talk about one of the critical aspects to why young people join universities and higher institutions of learning, and this is academics. Now, at some point, personally, I did more of leadership while I was at campus, especially for my second and third year. I was so much into leadership. I never got a retake or something, but somehow it affected my CGPA. I was working for first class, but because of these very many things I was doing, I got slightly less than 4, my CGPA. Yeah. Now I thought, well, it doesn't matter. Until recently, I wanted to get into the University of Edinburgh on scholarship, and they could not consider me because of my CGPA. It's a second upper, but I couldn't get, to where I wanted with it. So we have so many students in our universities, they are not putting in as much effort in regards to academics. People just want to survive retakes. People just want to get by, last-minute readers, and all those things. Can you address that? How can young people live effective lives at campus, especially in regards to their academics?
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe allow me kindly before I answer the question. As Rachel was speaking, I remembered when I was entering campus in my year 1. I came to look for a hostel in Chikoni. And there's a hostel just as you're sloping in to enter Chikoni very well. There's a hostel called Khan. So I went there. I met the guy who claimed to be the manager. I got his contact. So my roommate, he's my relative. So he had sent me 350,000 for booking. I also had 350. This guy calls me. The room is going. I send the money online. I tried to call the guy again. The guy is not picking.
He was not.
So he scammed me 700,000.
Wow.
Just because I wasn't so much informed about it. And you know, sometimes when I see these young people coming into campus, I normally have a famous saying that I say, take a deep breath and dance to the rhythm without panic. Because if you panic because of certain situations at campus, you're definitely going to mess up. You're going to knock, you're going to find yourself in situations which initially you hadn't planned to be in. Now back to the question. Actually, it's not only you. By the end of my first year, I was having a first class around, I've not disclosed this to anyone, not even my parents. Actually, I hope they won't watch this. But I last gave them my results in second semester of year one. Because year two, I messed up why I was working. I know we shall talk about that sometime. So I focused more on work, and my CGPA dropped from a first class, and now I'm lingering in between 4 and 4.4. And reason being, I shifted my attention more from the academics, and then I went into work and focused more on work. Now, when you come to campus, I also normally tell my friends, if you do not have a situation that is pushing you to work, your parents can provide and such things, please sit down and you know what, and read books and focus, because in time to come, as you've said, you may want to do a master's. But trust me, if you do not have 4 and above, it will be very difficult for you to get a scholarship or even get a master's program. So it's very, very important that as people at campus, you know, go for all avenues. She's talked about some of them, discussions, what. And I have a classmate we are both Adventists in the class, and we were the only people in first class. Actually, we are the top 2 people. And for her, she starts right away. Even when she's at home and the semester is about to start, she's already reading. Now me, I fall under the Lamla people.
Yes.
Last Minute Readers Association.
I was the president.
So, but nonetheless, the other thing which she had talked about, you had asked about, the spirituality, which is the last thing I'm going to talk about for now. When we come to campus, as Christians, there's a reason as to why we've come to campus. Yes, we've come to study and all that, but the most important thing is that we are ministers. We are advocates for Christ. And I witnessed this in my second semester of year one. I literally I was the vice chairperson of the Youth Summit Committee at Mosda, and it was 4 weeks. But we had cut off close to like 2-3 weeks earlier on to plan. So I literally spent half of my semester not reading books. Courseworks would come, I would just, lamla things. And then all of a sudden, the semester ends. There's a course unit that this girl discussed for me in one night. It was company law, and she had 86, I had 85. Why I'm saying this, the semester ended, and trust me, I didn't read. Like, I even thought that semester I had messed up big time. But it does come out, and I had a 4.5 GPA in that semester. Why am I saying this? It's because there's something our elder at Mosda, Dr. Milka Singare, says that when you do God's business, He does your business. So we are at campus, yes, to study, but then the most important thing, the fundamental, is we are there to serve God. So as long as you consider serving God first and putting Him first in each and everything you're doing, even at campus, trust me, He will even put marks on your portal
when you
that you don't even deserve. Even you'll be shocked. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Just before we go for the break, I want you, Rachel, to talk about time as an aspect of productivity. Now, we get so much busy at campus. You're in movies, you're in sports, you're in very many other things, and we don't balance our time very well. And that's why being last minute comes in. How can we use our time productively?
Thank you very much. My friends have tackled the point. How can we use our time well at campus? First of all, you should know what took you to campus. Yes, we are members of public campus ministries, and if you know that, we have our logo. It has that category thing here. Yes, so we have to make studies our priorities. Yes, leadership comes in here and there, other co-curricular activities. You have time for yourself, time for socializing with people, like going for movies is not bad, going for sports is not bad, but what took you to campus? Is it sports? We have to balance our time well, in that if you have maybe sports in the evening, at least wake up and read. Attend lectures. Don't do sports in the time of lectures. And there comes a challenge. Us who were ministers at campus, some lectures could collide with some meetings, you know? Yes, some ministerial meetings, and you could fight. You feel like dividing yourself to attend this one, but always God makes a way. Yes, as Martin pointed it out, that sometimes when God puts marks you don't deserve on your photo because of his ministry, but you have to prioritize academics. Yes.
Briefly about that, like make a schedule for yourself. Everything is going to happen, but at the right time.
Yes.
Know the time for sports, know the time for class, know the time for jazzing. I think being with a schedule can make you move on well. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And as we go for the break, we've talked about quite a number of things, academics, time, and all that. When we come back from the break, we are going to talk more about relationships, different relationships at campus. We're also going to talk about leadership, and also break down the aspect of technology and how we can use it to live better lives at campus. Thank you so much, and this is the Youth Voice Show on Hope Channel Uganda. We come back after a very short break. Welcome back from that short break. We are discussing Campus Chronicles, and this is the Youth Voice Show on Hope Channel Uganda. Remember, you can find Hope Channel Uganda on Star Times, on GoTV, on the satellite, and also on the Hope Channel app, and also you can be able to find us on YouTube and the different social media platforms of Hope Channel Uganda. Keep submitting your comments, especially on our YouTube. Thank you so much, and we appreciate them. Now today, we are discussing Campus Chronicles, and before we went for the break, we had talked about some of the challenges that young people, Christian young people, face in these higher institutions of learning, but also we had talked about time as an aspect of productivity, but also we had talked about how they can be able to live successful lives while at campus. Now, I want us to bring in the aspect of leadership, clubs, and associations. It is a very much critical, a very big and critical aspect, especially in the lives of young people, as the Christian ones. Now, you have young people who will go to campus and then choose to do only books. They won't associate themselves with any clubs or activities or associations. They won't take on any roles or something like that. And they are aloof from everything else altogether. And then maybe you have those ones who are going to be so much into these things, and maybe the academic life suffers. How can we strike a balance? But at the same time, is there a beauty, is there an importance in us associating with clubs and associations while at campus, or even taking on roles in the guild? Martin?
Thank you so much. I think, well, as regards campus, I don't want to lie to you that I've been so involved in leadership, except in church leadership. But I can draw you back to my high school. That was in King's College, Budo. I was a very good leader, though I was a bit chaotic back then. But yeah, one thing that got me to be quite outstanding, I remember I even won a certain scholarship. It was because of leadership. Interestingly, I was a leader without title, and back then when they would refuse you to, I was refused to stand for head prefect because I was a Seventh Adventist, and also somehow I was chaotic. But most of the opportunities that I got to stand out, and even up to now, it's because I was a leader. I was involved in quite a number of clubs, the debate club, I was the president then, and which has also shaped some of my careers right now that I'm pursuing. It is very, very important. There has to be a unique identifier that is besides the academic excellence that someone or people need to know you for. I'm excellent, I should say, by the grace of God in my academics, but then at the end of it all, there is something extra that is attributed to me. Now that, the competence that people are looking out for, I once worked as an assistant human resource manager after my S6, and I was conducting interviews. I didn't have any qualification, but why I got that opportunity to sit with, managers and interview people who have bachelor's degrees and all that, it's because I had acquired certain extracurricular skills that were not academic centered. And I was firing questions in panels of people to be accountants and audit associates and all that, because I engaged in something extra that is more than just, academics, and this built my competence up to where we are now. If you find me, this is not to be braggant about, but if you find me now, you cannot compare me to some individuals I left with from school back then, because there's a certain level of competence that I have, a certain level of eloquence that I have that many other people don't have.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Lillian.
Yeah, maybe I was just born a leader. I'm coming to discover that because in every environment, wherever I am, I'm always a leader. Sometimes it just comes and says, Lillian, you were appointed to be the leader of this. But they tell you that thing which you are going to lead when you have no idea about it. But you find yourself within that I can do this because I'm responsible. I have to make research about the responsibility which is handed over to me. But being a leader is good. Me, I'm a leader. I'm a GRC at my campus for my faculty, Creative Multimedia, but I was unopposed. Meaning, as a leader, every time God knows that if He puts you in this place, you are going to add value to those people. He gives you that space. But being a leader has many advantages. You come to know new things which you didn't know. Because if you are the guild, and he's the secretary, and also the other one has another thing, the ideas are going to share in the meeting, or during the meeting, what we are going to share. I learned something new. Because you bring a different idea, he also brings another different ideas. Yeah.
Your experiences on leadership?
Wow. Leadership is really, really very good. I won't be different from other panelists. It has a way it shapes you into a better person. Being a leader, even at campus, it makes you cautious that, I'm a leader. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't wear this. I shouldn't conduct myself in a certain way because you are a leader. And so, my personal experience, I also have not been so much into campus leadership. I've been so much in church leadership. And while I was a student at Mengo School of Nursing, I was in an association of Mesasa. I got very many leadership roles, even from my secondary school. So it built me up slowly by slowly. Even you reach a point whereby you're not involved in anything, but you find your name somewhere and they're like, Rachel, you're going to be leading this. Rachel, you're going to be leading this. That's when I also discovered that I can be a good treasurer, because I was a treasurer of Mesasa for
Wonderful.
almost for the whole course. So being a leader at campus is really very good, and I encourage people out there to aspire to be leaders. And if you're leaders in the guild councils, like my friend Lydian, like to us the Christians, we can be having our big person there, you know, to put out our issues.
Yes.
Because we usually get challenges like Adventists at campus, some of them because we don't have leaders of our faith in the guild cabinet. So our points are not aired out, the principals don't know what you go through, and so many more.
Thank you. And
Maybe just before we close
Yes.
that, I want to stress out something important.
Yes.
If you read the Bible about the gifts and fruits, there's nothing like leadership.
Yes.
Oftentimes we succumb to notions that some people are born leaders and others are not. No, this is not true. I mean, you can be a leader, she can be,
They are
anyone
meant.
can be a leader. Anyone can be a leader wherever they can go, and you know, God can use them mightily. Yeah,
With a
Thank you.
supportive
I also-
environment.
of course.
I
yeah.
equally would like to share my personal experiences with leadership, and you've said it. I don't know how you're able to look into my mind. The aspect of leadership giving you a voice.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, I rose through the ranks and I became the guild speaker of Busitema University. But at the same time, I was PCM president for Eastern Uganda Field. And it came with such amazing opportunities, especially now in the university. Being an SDA, but at the same time being in the guild, it gave us such a voice that I could be listened to. I could walk into any office. I was never oppressed at any single time. You're going before the vice chancellor, you're going before the dean, but you have a basis on which to introduce yourself. You don't have to explain so much about what has brought you there. It was such a fundamental thing. But also the aspect of leadership giving you networks.
Yes.
And especially when it comes to school and work transition. When I eventually got into the job world, what gave me the jobs was not the grades.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the networks that
Yes.
came with the leadership. You just make a call, I want this, and people say, I know someone, and that. So those are things that we shouldn't take for granted, especially as young people when we come to these higher institutions of learning. I also want us to address the aspect of technology. Now there is so much trends, we have TikTok, we have social media, and sometimes our young people spend so much time on these things. But also it has some positivity to it. You can learn a skill, maybe coding, maybe graphics designing, and people are earning money from this. I have friends who have sustained themselves at campus because of these things. Martin, how can we create a balance when it comes to technology? How can we use it for our good, and how can we avoid the challenges that come with it?
Okay, thank you so much. I happen to be one of the beneficiaries of technology from campus. And specifically, I attribute this to Mozda because when I got in my year one, first semester, I was tasked to handle the Mozda magazine. So somehow, somewhere, I had to learn graphics. And I tell people I do some videography, I do graphic design, I design reports for different companies and all that. But it's because I embraced technology and used it for the right purpose. Now, technology, as regards personal development, is one of the best initiatives that we've ever had. If you have a phone and you know how to use it for personal development, it's the best. I have learned quite a number of skills using my phone. I do some work, I do some social media management for some people, but I do the graphics on phone. People don't know how to leverage that. Now, on my phone, it's one of the gadgets where you will not find Instagram, TikTok. The only reason as to I have LinkedIn and X is for my personal
professional,
branding
yes,
and then professionalism, because I have to handle exits, because I have to handle, for my clients and all that. But these days, technology has been misused.
Yeah.
And that's why you see we're having a lot of immorality. I didn't grow up experiencing certain immoralities. But trust me, once I got a phone, whoo, I started seeing. I even
pop up without you asking
sometimes
for
you
them.
be on X, you're managing your boss's account, and then
And things pop up.
things pop up, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. You go onto a website. Which websites do you even visit? What platforms do you have? What apps do you have? I deleted most of the irrelevant apps that I even installed. Like when you buy your phone, it's there. It's useless to me. There's a time I deleted YouTube because when I go to YouTube, I'm having these reels coming through. But, you know, they will just bring them up. And recently, I got so pissed at YouTube. I deleted it because when you find my search, it's more of I'm searching about choirs and sermons. But these guys are so funny and so technical to the extent that, yes, you're searching about choirs. There's this saying that what you search, the internet senses and they provide for you options. But I am telling you, it is no longer the norm. You're going to search YouTube and search choirs and all that, but those short reels that they post there, they are going to bring for you things that are not in any way connected. So how you handle this technology, how you leverage it for your personal development and for the service of God is the most important thing. Things like TikTok, I'm not an advocate for TikTok.
Equally.
I know there are people using it for ministry. I applaud them for that. It's very good. But the thing is, you know, someone asked me one time the reason as to why some Adventists don't take beef. It's not because it's bad, but because it has been infiltrated with chemicals and different things. So that's why we advocate for the health message. The reason as to why I wouldn't advocate for someone to go to TikTok is because in as much as, yes, you're using it for ministry, whatever is on TikTok is you know, is not good.
I look at how people unproductively spend time just on TikTok. Like entire hours are going, someone hasn't done anything productive.
Yeah.
And they're just there laughing and...
So, yeah, basically, we need to know how to leverage technology for the betterment. There are many skills we can learn. I personally have different certificates in management. I have a certificate in oil and gas production. I have many qualifications I've attained, and I'm still attaining more, but it's because you have to know how to leverage this technology while you're at campus. Maybe my colleagues can add something.
Yeah, technology has made some things easy, like simplified. For example, if you come to, you at campus, they usually give us 10 to 20% of what they are going to give you, the syllabus. As you as a student, you have to make more research. For us who are maybe under those technology courses, you know, at our school usually we are more in technology. This is where you have to go on YouTube to make research about the topic they have given you. If it comes to animation, the lecturer is not going to give you 100% of it, but he tells you to develop something 100%, meaning he gives you the tips, the introduction, and you go make research on your own.
Build on that.
Then you come out with the coursework he has given you successfully. So, but some people usually use it negatively, as he has been saying, but technology also helps us in communication. This is where you can be in your car bed at campus and they say you are all needed for a meeting. You gather somewhere. We shall have a meeting for the Guild Council at this time in this place. You get informed about what is going on in the campus about that. It helps you to network globally, not only in the environment you are in, but when you go on social medias, different social medias, you come to know some things which you didn't even, like you were in America, but you have never been there.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it helps you. It also helps us to network and to know new things about the world.
Rachel, technology in 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much. Almost my friends have exhausted everything, but we should embrace technology in a positive way, in that we can live a purposeful life while at campus. Thank you very much.
Yes, now, I want us to talk about relationships. Roommate relationships, romantic relationships, and platonic relationships. Now, there's something I heard Okuli Nyomuti from Makerere. I don't know what it means, but I heard about it. Let's talk about romantic relationships and all sorts, roommate relationships and friends. How can we be able to navigate relationships while at campus? How can we use relating to people for the better and not as a way of derailing us from what we're supposed to be doing? We start with you, Rachel.
Thank you very much. Our relationships are very good in all angles, the romantic ones, the roommate relationships, and so on. But we have to always socialize with our friends. We have to build that network. We should start with the people we sleep with, or we share a room with, not sleep with. Might get another meaning. So these people are the people who know how we eat, how we sleep. If you make that person to Okuri Nyomuti, you'll be like, hey, Rachel, an Adventist, you know? Okuri Nyomuti, Martin will explain more if he doesn't forget. But our roommates, we should always treasure them, and these are the target people of evangelism. The way you conduct yourself with those roommates of yours.
It's a sermon.
Yes. In Uganda, there is a proverb, Chomyamamba Averom. Yes.
So it's you, and then they will say Adventists are like this.
Yes, Adventists are like this. And even the romantic relationships, very few, by the way, very few make it out of campus.
Very few.
Very, very few.
Did yours survive?
Anyone me, I'm going to talk about the romantic relationship and also the mentor and guiding relationship. When it comes to the romantic relationship, you know, people have sweethearts there. You know, people are dating and people are coupling. Is it coupling on campus also? People are seriously dating. Some of them come out successfully and others fail maybe on the way. But again, it comes about like, what is the limit? Yes, you are my sweetheart. We are at campus. But what things do we have to do and the things which we don't have to do because we are students? If I sleep with you, I'm going to become pregnant. That is going to interrupt our relationship. But we can be patient to each other and it becomes a success in future. So you have to be the limit. It's the same thing with the mentor and guidance relationship. Our professors, the spiritual leaders who are always there, we have to be in a good relationship with them. But what is the limit? If I've come to you to ask you about spiritual things, you are a chaplain at our campus, what is the limit? At what time? Why should I come to your office at around 11, at around midnight to make research about that?
Yes.
So you have to be with a limit and to know, like, where should I end? This person is married, even though I need something from him. We have good relationship, but he's married. I don't have to speak out such.
Thank you. Now, Martin, as you talk about relationships, I want you to talk about it in a way of building a supportive circle around you.
All right, thank you so much. There's this common saying that your network is your net worth. But your network is your net worth if you know how to choose it. That's important. Well, I am one of the few people that doesn't have a very huge circle at campus. Why? Because the objectives for the relationships at campus don't really match. I mean, you're going to have friends whereby you're either going to go to club or you're going to serve God. The only relationships I have and the only network I have is the one that is basically Musda. Now, in my class, there is really not so much that we, relate with. They organize football matches, which would have been very good, but they put them on Saturday. We can't. So our objectives for relating matter a lot. But as I have said, your network is your net worth if you know how to choose it. The friends that you get at campus are either going to spoil you or make you. The network you get at campus is either going to determine who you're going to be or it is going to drag you down.
Thank you so much.
So,
Your
yeah.
last word, Lillian, in 30
My
seconds.
last word is that yes, the relationships are there, but you as a person, you have to have a good relationship with God.
Yes.
Even if you have other good relationship, without a good relationship, without a good connection with God, you will fail. But God always, if we trust in God, if we follow His beliefs and we also do what He wants us to, He's expecting us to do what He's expecting us to do. You just follow God and other things will be simplified in your life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Rachel, your parting shots.
Okay, thank you very much. What I urge every young person out there is that you should make your chronicles count. And after campus, you would not regret looking back at your years you spent at campus so wasted. And I want to remind you with this scripture of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9 that you are a royal priesthood, and the other one of Matthew chapter 5 and verses 13. You're the salt of the world. You're the light of the world. Yes, thank you very much.
Martin, your parting shots in 30 seconds.
2 quotations. 1, take a deep breath and dance to the rhythm without panic. What you choose to be today is definitely going to determine quite a lot in what you're going to become tomorrow. And the last one is success occurs when opportunity meets preparation at its best. Leverage campus, but use it to prepare yourself for the better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, friends, and thank you for your different submissions. And I'm sure that our young people out there have learned something in regards to how they can make the best of their time at campus. The time at campus or in higher institutions of learning is such a very quality time if we use it to our advantage, if we use it to do our right things. That's a time that sets the stage. It's like a launch pad for everything else that awaits you in the future. You can build relationships that can last beyond that. You can learn and gain skills that will sustain you for the rest of your life. But at the same time, if you don't productively use your stay at campus, you can mess and ruin your life. People graduate with pregnancies. People drop out of school. Things fail. People lose money because they want to get money very fast and things like that. We have to be very careful. But most importantly, like my friends have pointed out, putting God first. If you can't relate with God, you won't relate with yourself better. You won't relate with others. It starts with drawing closer to God. But most importantly, as young Christians, we are in these institutions first as ambassadors of Christ, and then everything else falls into place. Let's learn to put God first in our lives and trust Him in each and everything that we do, and then everything else will fall into place. My name is Edison Masereka. I am a teacher, a leader, and a public speaker. I have been your host for this conversation. From myself and the rest of the team behind the scenes here at Hope Channel Uganda, see you next time.